several interruptions to the proceedings here, but it's actually the next day for me. Let's see if I can pick up. So I think we had one. No, actually, I think we're in the first round of combat. We get to the defender's fire. So Davis there has 7 points. No, I believe I did roll for him. So that's the first round of combat. Now, the round isn't quite finished because now the attacker gets a chance to withdraw, escalate, or remain. Stuart doesn't want to escalate into a battle because that would be the end of the whole turn, which actually wouldn't matter for the Confederates. And yeah, okay, Stuart has the points, so it will cost 2 action points to escalate that into a battle. Which he's going to do. If he didn't, then Davis would have had a chance to do so. So that means Davis doesn't have a chance to withdraw. So now that means that the turn then skips immediately to the battle portion. So nobody else will be able to move, there's no free reaction, there's no forced march possible. We go straight to battle. So this is interesting for me. It will be the first battle I've fought using the advanced rules, which add the leader casualties, forces breaking, and possibly even reserves and flanking. And I think I'll try a bit of that just to see how it works out. So first off, a skirmish would normally last up to 3 rounds, and we only actually had 1. A battle normally lasts 2 rounds, 3 rounds in a certain circumstance, but in this case, being escalated from a skirmish, it will only have 1 round. The first step is normally leader selection, but at this point we can choose to place units in reserve. Let's just zoom in a bit so we can see. Davies doesn't have any action points to call for support. It's not really useful, in seeing as this combat is ending this round anyway. Otherwise, any friendlies within 6 hexes could move 2 hexes towards. So he's going to hold, and similarly Stuart will hold. He could also call for support, but doesn't really want to ask Longstreet to come back to assist him. Doesn't feel it's necessary at this point. So then we move to the end of battle bookkeeping step. So both sides get another opportunity to withdraw. And the withdrawing side does not concede defeat in this case. They would have if they had done it prior. So Davies is going to stay. Which means then Stuart has to decide whether to stay or withdraw. If he withdraws, he concedes defeat. If he stays, then the battle is considered to have lasted all day, so neither of them can move for the rest of the turn. So in this case, the battle is over, and it lasted all day, and both are remaining in that same hex. Okay. And so that's the end of the Confederate player turn. We move to the Union player turn. Now Hooker wants to stop Lee, but he also wants to take out Lee first. He senses an opportunity. Lee could not reach Hill within the first day of battle from where he is. I think. Yes, because foolishly he didn't leave. Oh no, hang on. Yes, Hill could screen for him, so he could move in reaction. Okay. I think Hooker's going to go in. Okay, so we have Lee here, Hooker here, Slocum is detached here. He's actually going to detach the 1st, 2nd and 3rd corps. So he spends 3 points to activate Reynolds, Couch and Sickles. And they're going to move in with Slocum. And 2. Hill's Hex. Okay, so they each expend an action point to move. And so does Slocum. So Slocum's actually going to move. Oh no, he's with the wagon train, isn't he? No, I think that's safe there. So he's going to move in. Maybe Slocum should leave a division behind. Okay, Slocum leaves the 1st division behind with the wagon train. So Slocum and his headquarters, and then Couch, Reynolds and Sickles all moving in. So what we have there is a stack of 4 leaders and a headquarters. Moving in to that hex. So we go to the contact routine. Any cavalry withdrawn? No. Moving unit initiation. Pass, skirmish or battle? Well, the battle. But first, Lee can move with initiative. So he will actually get an exhausted marker. Okay. And be able just to move 1 hex. 1, 2, 3. Or 1, 2, 3. In fact, there it's going to be better, isn't it? I don't have to roll for him because he's definitely got the capability. Spend the action point for that. And now, 1, 2, 3, 4, he's definitely able to march to the sound of guns if necessary. Okay, so this could be quite interesting. So, so Hooker's actually here. But he's going to spend the action points, 2 action points to escalate straight up to battle from the contact routine. Just check, is that the correct? Yeah, 2 action points. And so we do go to that step that we missed out with reserves. Now the Union can only place core or larger in reserve. The Confederate player divisions now. Hill has got 3 divisions. I don't see any benefit in him keeping 1 in reserve. Doesn't need to hold anything back secretly. He's not attempting to ambush or anything like that. Waiting for... Although he might hold some back, which might make Hooker think there's less there and then draw some out to meet Lee. I mean, potentially that could happen. I don't think I'm going to be that clever. No, let's do it. Let's just so we see how that all works out. So we're going to say that Anderson's division is held back. So that happens secretly. He's held back in reserve. Yes, so the benefit is going to be that if the reserve gets there without delay, then the Union force will be flanked. We'll get a shift on the battle table. Unless the Union is able to bring 1 into reserve, and units marching the sound of guns can go into reserve, so that's highly possible in this situation. Okay, now so this is interesting. So Hill is not actually activated. I neglected to activate. I didn't see it because he wasn't moving, but what this means is that there's no army leader who's automatically activated in the hex. So 1 leader is automatically activated and can use his bonus. So Heth and Pender, who are committed at present, cannot assist Hill, who's actually got the best bonus. So Hill is activated at present, Heth and Pender not. So that's a free activation, but only for one chap. So, so we're going to fire a defend or attack. So the Union chooses attack, and Hill chooses defend. So defender gets fire and entrenchment now. Hill will try to erect an entrenchment, and on a 1 to 4 that's successful for level 1, yes. So we got level 1 entrenchment there. And he also gets to fire. Now he's got Pendron Heath, which is 16, so that's 32. You may as well declare it all. Well, he'd say 27 because that gets him in the 27 column. He gets +3 for Hill. Rolls a 2, +3 is a 5, which is 3 casualties to the Union going in. And I'm going to take them from Reynolds' first corps, just for whatever reason we'll say they started out 3. Okay. Then the attacker gets to fire. I'll just take a moment to add up all their combat points, strength points. So the Union have 115. So Confederates fired on this column, the Union will be firing on the penultimate column. No, sorry, they're on 85 actually. I added an extra corps, but so that's just one column down, but they do get to add in 7. Sickles is actually -3 combat bonus, so we've got Reynolds on 5, Couch on 2, and Slocum on 0, so we've got 7 adjustment to the die roll. But we also get -7 for the fortification of Fredericksburg, and then another -1 for that entrenchment belt. So that's -8 plus 7 is -1, and then they are also firing from a march, which is -5. So we're going to be at mustn't forget to indicate that. So that's -6. No other modifier. Oh, we're fighting in a town and in rough terrain. Oh, sorry, no, the entrenchment and fortifications are column shifts, so that's 7, 8 to the right. So it's as though they've only got 3 or 4 strength points firing instead of 81. This is going to be a difficult nut to crack. But they do get +7 on the die roll. -5 for the march. -2 for in woods or rough, and -4 for city. So that's, I believe they are all accumulative. Some of those are only on the first day, so that's 4, 5, 6. So -11 plus 7 gives us -4 on the die roll. Terrible. So they caused 0 casualties. I rolled a 1. And that is the first. So now we go to the first flight or fight decision. So the Union can decide whether to withdraw, call for support, or hold. And I think looking at what we got there, because Hooker could join in and amass more force and go in for a second day. No, maybe you should do that. Yeah, okay. Because I was thinking to withdraw, because just thinking the Union's going to take a lot of casualties, and that will help the Confederates with their victory condition. But on the other hand, if we do want to take a depot, so the only other option is the depot here, which is lightly defended. If Hooker can get a march on Lee, so hold there. Hope Lee will move to the support, and then Hooker can swoop up. We've even got Pleasanton threatening that himself already. But we don't yet know the force that is there. I keep forgetting to send out... No, I haven't got any more. No, I could have sent out a Union picket from Pleasanton before. Never mind. It's too late now. Okay, so that means the Union are going to hold. And now Hill can decide. He's going to hold. He's not going to withdraw. Does he call for support? It would cost some action point, and then Lee would necessarily respond to it, would move 2 hexes. But then he would leave this unguarded. So I think we're not going to do it. We're not going to fall for the trap. Okay, so he's holding 2. And now we would go to the next round. So it will be a 2-round battle. So again, we can reselect leaders if necessary, decide whether attacking or defending. Defender gets to fire and also to build entrenchment. So Hill's going to try for another entrenchment. No. And he's going to fire. Okay, so gets a modified 4. 3 again. Okay. So then Forlorn Hope, same situation, we get 4. Again, 0 losses on the Confederates from the Union, and both are going to hold, no calling for support, and that is the end of the battle. So we go to the end. So we either can choose to withdraw honourably without conceding defeat, or stay. And at this point, I think they're all going to withdraw. Costs no action points at the end of battle. Oh, and I didn't roll for the flanking unit, so yeah, let's just backtrack to that. So Hill would spend his last action point to commit Anderson. Well, my battery's low. We're going to get cut off in just a moment. So I have to roll. If it's equal to, I can modify it with an action point equal to or less than the unit's combat bonus. The unit is committed normally. So Anderson has 2. Ooh, so I should have chosen Pender on 3. I get 5, so he's delayed. So it does not fire and does not take casualties unless all other units were eliminated. So yeah, it's just waiting, so I will try again next round if there was one. Conceivably the battle could have continued into the next day, but the Union have withdrawn. No, sorry, with them withdrawing at the end of battle, so they will concede defeat, so they're actually going to spend an action point each. They have an action point each left, except for Slocum. So I have to spend one from Hooker for him. I believe that's fine to do, because yes. So, and then we have to try and withdraw on the withdrawal table. Dear. So the Union get -1 bonus for withdrawing from battle. Oh, it actually costs 2 action points to withdraw. Sickles and Couch, Reynolds has it. He's spending. Hooker spends for the other 3, so they can't add anything. So it's basically on a 3 or less. So Reynolds does, and Couch does, Sickles does, and Slocum doesn't. So Slocum is left. Okay. I think I am going to leave him in the hex, so he won't concede defeat. Okay, so that's the end of that turn. We will go to the interphase, which not much is going to happen.